All right, the Rumble has been rumbled. It wasn't in the jungle, it was in Indianapolis, which is kind of it's a jungle out there in Indy these days, Brian. I'm hearing it's the most fabulous city on earth. It may replace, what is it, Plainview, Long Island as the most magical place on earth. If Pat McAfee's writing or reading the copy. Holy, can we talk about for a second how much did the state of Indiana pay for the Royal Rumble? I remember that it was talked about, but I don't remember the figure. But the Royal Rumble, they're getting a SummerSlam coming up at some point. They got the another big show maybe in that package. They were in Indy for SmackDown the night before over at the little bitty field house, only seated, 15,000 or whatever. How much money did they get to have them just verbally fillet the city of Indianapolis? And Pat McAfee, my God, he wanted to. I'm afraid if he was to go out on a street and take a manhole cover off, he would stick his manhood in a manhole cover of the city of Indianapolis. Am I overstating this?
I don't even know what the hell that means. I've never heard that analogy before. What the hell does that mean?
If you want to make love to the entire city, you just take off a manhole cover and go to town.
I'm guessing it'll have to be a small manhole cover.
Manhood, well, a hood over the hole. We don't know, but the orifices were very kind to Indy.
Well, they were, and if you saw the press conference, and I know you didn't, but Paul Levesque, the first thing he did was blow Pat McAfee and put him over the top for connecting them with the people from Indianapolis. So we'll see. But according to the Indy Star newspaper, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and WrestleMania stand to bring in excess of $350 million in economic impact to Indy when it's all said and done. More than $40 million is expected to be infused into the city from the Royal Rumble alone.
But how much did the city infuse into the WWE? Was that reported?
I'm trying to find the number. I'll let you know what I can find.
Because I think that infusion, it has to be significant for the level of, my God, Vince didn't talk about the garden like they were talking about Indy, that Tuttle town. And they didn't even once mention a St. Elmo steakhouse.
Or St. Elmo's fire.
Well, no, hold your tongue.
Man in motion.
No, well, yes, but hold your tongue on, because St. Elmo's is a historic place. We don't want it to burn down, and they still grill those steaks the old-fashioned way. They had dumb waiters. My mom and I went to St. Elmo's Steakhouse because it was across the way. I can't remember. It's been 50 years or whatever. But it's across the way in some respect from the Expo Center to where we went to Bruiser's matches. Unfortunately, I missed the promotional war live, and I got more like Bruiser and Crusher against the Bounty Hunters type of era. But nevertheless, they had dumb waiters that brought up the baked potatoes. And I know the kids are now saying, well, why couldn't they hire some smarter people? Google dumb waiters. If I only had time to educate you children. But that was cool watching the bam, bam, and the door open up, and then here comes 72 baked potatoes individually wrapped in silver aluminum foil. I had OCD even then. I appreciated things like that as a child.
I'm trying to find anything about it, and actually I'm not finding any numbers, just announcements. But here's something just went up this morning, just a half hour ago, from the Indianapolis Recorder newspaper. Here are records that WWE set this weekend.
Oh, boy.
Largest gate in single-night WWE history. Ticket sales surpassed all previous Royal Rumble editions and all non-WrestleMania single-night gates.
Well, as a matter of fact, they said on the broadcast, as we say in the business, that it was the fourth biggest gate. It was behind three of the double night WrestleManias. I think last year's 2 and 1 the before, and otherwise it was an all-time record for anything.
Record viewership. Domestic viewership on Peacock rose nearly 14% from last year's record-setting Royal Rumble, while international streaming numbers surged even higher, following the shift to Netflix globally. Now, that's no firm numbers there, but they're saying 14% higher than last year, which is a pretty hot Royal Rumble. I mean, that was Cody winning it, right?
Well, yes, but the bigger thing, globally, exponentially, many big numbers. We don't know, but it's a goddamn lot. You know, it's just, it's gotten ridiculous.
Listen to this.
Large numbers.
Listen to this.
Difficult mathematics. Go ahead.
Merchandise boom. In partnership with Fanatics, merchandise sales soared more than 95% over the previous record set in 2024, making it the highest grossing non-WrestleMania event in WWE history.
Now, wait a minute. I'm just a small town bird lawyer, Brian. We've established that. But an increase of 95% means that they doubled what they did last year, which was a record.
Sponsorship revenue soars. 14 sponsors. All matches featuring sponsorship. Revenue climbed 94% over last year's record. God, it's not even just like 5% increase. 94%, 95%. And finally, social media explosion. The event set a new high for social video views in Royal Rumble history. A standout moment featuring Braun Breaker spearing popular streamer iShowSpeed became the most viewed Royal Rumble social post of all time, generating over 300 million views.
Jesus H. Christ.
In less than 24 hours. Reads like a press release. I don't know if it was sent to them as a press release, but it's from the Indianapolis Recorder.
Well, so good Lord, if they could have only got rid of Vince 10 years ago, what the fuck may have happened?
But you know what? If they had gotten rid of Vince 10 years ago, let's say, or 15 years ago, I don't know if everything would have ended up the same way. It was kind of a perfect storm. Nick Khan is the right guy. No one can deny that in any way. And quite frankly, Paul Levesque right now is the right guy. And in tandem with Lee Fitting, when he keeps his hands to himself or whatever the fuck his problem is, they're working well right now. I don't know if that group would have been put together. Lee Fitting would still be at ESPN.
Yeah.
If it was 10 years ago. Would Nick Khan have made the move 10 years ago? TV was in a different place. Media rights fees were in a different place. It all worked out best for everyone but Vince, I guess.
I was just exaggerating anyway. They could have kept him till maybe 6 years ago. Now, anyway, so we were in Indianapolis for the Royal Rumble, where apparently every single son of a bitch of the 70,000 people that showed up to the Old Lucas's stadium, apparently every single one of them had an ATM in their back pocket and just fucking pissed cash across the merchandise tables and lived like Caligula. I don't know what's going on with these people.